If I kept stacking with gold and silver, that would not have been a problem. So I want you to think outside of the box, care providers and business owners, and to look at these types of backing systems that are really inflation proof. So some of the solutions that you can do is what I've just mentioned to you. So let's really look at this in more detail. Okay, so I'm going to really go into this more, and I'm going to provide you with some more examples. Okay, so let's look at this in greater detail. So like I said to you, I shared with you what held me back, how I lost my care business. And it took me years to come forward with that because I felt ashamed. But yet there were lots of people in 2008, for example, that were losing their businesses because of the recession. I was providing good care, 150%. I would do it for free. That's how much I love care, for example. But like I said, I was delayed with payments, and I was running the care agency. I was delivering home care, working long hours. I was in from like 5 o'clock in the morning, not getting home till 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night sometimes even midnight. I'm sure there's some of you out there that have got a large agency that are perhaps dealing with this same type of timing. But when the local authorities delayed the invoices owed to me, and I had to, you imagine you've got invoice that's 50,000 and you need to be paid for that, right? So I was physically delivering those invoices rather than emailing them. I was physically delivering them to try and get payment through. And I wasn't able to renegotiate on my terms because of the inflation and the recession. The local council delayed my invoices. And then on top of that, they renegotiated the contract at lower rates. I was stuck. What else could I have done? I've never dealt with that before. I couldn't hold on. And the system, it broke me. And right now, I see that this is happening it could happen to some of you that are in business right now, for example. So I explained to you that every month I paid out tens and thousands of pounds in wages, a lot. And I say it was a lot going out on wages. And before getting paid by the NHS or the council, I had to pay people. But when the inflation hit and costs went up, those payments became later and later. I wasn't seeing the signs. I waited not 30 days, 60 days. It was 90 days before invoices were cleared for the previous 3 months. And I'd increased the hours because I had contracts and I was tied. I was told that I must keep delivering the care. But my office team, the carers, all the field bills, with gloves, PPE, admin costs, all of that kept coming in, but it had to be paid up front. And then the real blow came. They walked into my office. They booked the appointment, of course. Walked into my office. I had no idea. And then it was like, right, so we're going to be lowering your rates. And these are going to be the new rates. And this is going to be implemented in 3 months' time. I was running a business. I said to them, I'm not running a charity. I'm running a business. How could I survive on that? I try to tell the staff, look, this is what the rates are now. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to reduce your rate. However, at that time, there wasn't a thing called 0-hour contract. It was a permanent contract for the care staff, for example. Now, if I really had time to think about it, I would have got rid of all of my office staff immediately and got VAs in, virtual assistants in, for example. I would have been keep buying the gold and silver, so I had that backup plan because I was using things. Every cash reserve was being used to cover the current. It's like what we're doing, for example. We're paying into our pensions, for example, not for us to use now, but for us to use later, for example. So I was paying for things now, and I was getting paid for it later. Imagine, I was running a business and the profit wasn't there. It was there to begin with, but due to the recession, which hit a lot of businesses, not just me, it caused me to have to let it go, literally. So I just feel that it's happening to some businesses again now in 2025. Fast forward to today. Inflation is back. It's here in our faces. It's screaming at us. The pound, the dollar is weakening. And guess who's at risk? Your business.